field view with Northwest Elementary. That was one of our TAP applications that's, as the mayor and Robin are very familiar with, out in Northwest Elementary's new site, a number of sidewalk connections and others in the area, which we're very excited to see move forward. LVRT projects, Phase 7, we have a planned restart here beginning mid-April here this month. We have J.D. Ekman has got us their revised schedule, so weather dependent, we're hoping that we're going to get that project moved and done. They have set a target date to be wrapped up by July. We hope that it won't take that long, but with the weather we had last year, I guess I'm knock on wood.
This next week is going to be challenging.
9B extension, if you're out Jonestown Way from Market Street going south that portion, we have the bridge, the steel bridge over Swati has been redecked, and we're working our way down into Bunker Hill, as well as some improvements north, working with the authority on the improvement pieces that will get us up to 22 as part of that project. As well, we're also trying to work on some additional items relative to some fencing with the authority, some safety concerns that I think we have as a group relative to the amount of foot traffic that's going to increase there, and for kids to get over the bank with a lot of the traffic that's going to start to occur in that area. Phase 6A and B, we continue to work on that portion. That's the section that will take us along Chestnut Street from John Wingert's Pocket Park, that will go down the north side of Chestnut Street and connect over to Gollinger Woods. Phase C and D, which are the portions up 22nd Street and into the Lebanon Valley Mall, we've had our conversations with the mall as well as other stakeholders, which, as I was updating Commissioner Litz on, we've met with some of those stakeholders along 22nd Street, and we're in the process of getting some of those concerns resolved and issues. We did have a meeting with Municipal Services just this past Friday to discuss the possible turnback of that location, which will help facilitate the bridge replacement and the trail connection along that portion of 22nd Street. Phase 10 efforts, we're pleased to report that all of our areas north there of 22 that goes up almost to Swatara State Park, what we're calling Phase 10, has all largely been secured and in place. We've been working with DCNR, DEP, to set up some meetings to talk with some of the property owners out there that we need to get some sign-offs on to make that project happen. For the commissioners, the Inwood Bridge, great to hear that that's moving forward. We had our pre-construction meeting the 9th of April that there's about 50 people that were there, Julie and Song and Jamie and I attended. It was probably one of the larger meetings I've seen just to talk about a bridge. Very interesting to hear, but as a result of that project, it ties back to Phase 10 that DCNR is looking at that project and the total $6 million price tag as being a match for all of our future phases of the rail trail. So what that does for us is huge in helping to develop the next portions that we're going to take north. So we want to thank DCNR, and we want to thank the district staff for working through us to try to finally get to a point where Inwood is now maybe a project I won't have to talk about, but we heard it more. So, Lingle Avenue
John,
and Isabel.
John, before you go on from that, when will they literally lift the bridge to take it for repairs?
I'm going to go back. I can get with you afterwards.
Okay.
I have the pre-con notes. I can give you
Okay.
the actual particulars of when certain events are supposed to happen. But
Thank you.
yeah, I think the goal is that the heavy cranes will be brought in. They'll try to begin disassembling the bridge. Once the bridge is removed and off-site, it'll be taken to a place to be cleaned, and then when they'll use the cranes to begin the new construction. But I think Julie and I heard that even when the bridge is probably complete, there's going to be a time period where they may not have it open to traffic. I think the target is June of 2020 that we're looking at to have everything completely wrapped up. But I can go over those construction.
Just to add to that, I mean, I think they said that, I mean, this is I think, just if everything kind of goes perfectly, and we know that doesn't typically happen with projects, but that, I mean, we could have it completed, it will look, I mean, it'll be completed by September, but they may, or late fall, but they may want to keep traffic off of that bridge, just because they're going to need to use that for, some staging, for, yeah, the
And I think the other goal too was they were also talking about that was probably how they'll bring in a lot of members.
Exactly.
For the Iron Bridge
when they reassemble, right? So we may get questions, and they just kind of wanted to to put that out there, that it may look, or will look done, but they're still gonna keep the traffic off of that until probably like, they think June of 2020. Yeah.
Sure. Lingle Avenue and Isabel Road and Route 72 intersection projects, we did meet with the district staff, had a nice conversation with both their project managers on this, kind of following the vein of the PennDOT Connects process, kind of get a discussion early on as these projects begin to get underway. Urban engineers from Philly are a new consulting team that are going to be supporting these projects, so we had a nice conversation to kind of give them some background of everything that's going on out there, especially with all of the intersections that you're seeing that are under construction at this point. Cumberland East Bridge, I think the mayor and Robin are happy that we're finally down to 2 lanes instead of 1 for as long as we've had
The
it.
whole county is happy.
Well, we were trying to build up they're really happy when it finally opened to traffic. So we want to thank the district for, that was also a J.D. Ekman project who we've worked with a lot on our trail, and Inwood Bridge in particular is also.
And I'm happy that you were able to not disturb the city sign that we got in there 20 years ago.
You want me to pass along to Ekman? I can let...
Well, no, I know that when we put that in, we were concerned because we knew that the project was in the works. And
That wasn't that many years ago, was it? I was there.
it was maybe 5?
Yeah,
Maybe it was 5, yeah.
5 years ago, but I know that we knew that the bridge project was going to happen, and we weren't sure how far back it was going to be disturbed. So, yeah, everything looks great.
Good. Pass that along. South Spruce Street Bridge in Annville, that's another local lead job that we're working with Annville Township on. If you go out there and see, they are working very hard. I know they've taken the structure away, and periodically I make my visits out there to check on it. I know Bob would like it open because it's a shortcut to get out to 422, but that's one that we're hopeful will be done by the fall here. They have a pretty aggressive schedule on that. And then I guess the only other one I would say is maybe resurfacing updates. Mayor, I don't know if there's any quick status. I think pretty much we're just trying to...
Walnut Street, 12th and Walnut Street, 422 East is the first phase of it, and letters had gone out to property owners last December notifying them that an inspector will be making rounds and notifying them of any curb work that needs to be repaired or replaced. Unfortunately, no one's come in to get a permit yet. So we did send out a second letter. So they'll have until next year to get that work completed. But other than that, we're still just doing, engineering things that really doesn't affect the public at this point. Doing the curb work and trying to get a better understanding of that by the property owners is probably where we are right now. And we did send out a pretty detailed letter with a lot of information in it, and then again followed up. So we have a lot of calls into the office, but no one actually doing any work yet. But we're just coming out of winter, so hopefully this spring, summer, we'll see a lot of work happening on Walnut, besides a lot of preliminary work that's being done by the utilities, making kind of traveling in the city a nightmare. But.
Mayor, I did have a question from some people concerning the construction on Walnut Street. Are there hours during which the construction must take place so they could avoid those hours using that road if possible? That's the question.
That's something that we can talk to the contractor about once we get to that point, but we aren't even close to that yet.
But the utilities,
that's definitely
The stuff.
The utilities,
the utilities
yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize.
and that would be nice to carry forward. I think people want to know, and then that way they can plan their route for the day, if that makes
I think
sense.
they're pretty much operating on it during daylight. Do you have an hours? Do they give you hours?
They're typically just a regular working day. I mean,
9 to 5, 8 to 4.
No, they're earlier than that.
Yeah.
Like 7.
Like 7.
7 o'clock.
Till 5.
7:30 till 5.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just tell everybody.
We've been giving announcements to the radio stations too to get it out there that, if you live locally, you know about it.
Yeah.
We get it on the radio so people.
Well, not everybody listens every day, but Gordon does a wonderful job out there, and they're asking, social media, there's a lot of questions, so you've just answered some. Thank you.
So I would say for the most part, if they planned on 7 to 5, for the most part.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Anything else on project
The
update?
other one that jumped out at me that I forgot to give is the update on Wilhelm. Wilhelm Avenue realignment project is moving forward. We're through the process of the individual, what's called individual 4F. That means having us get a completed environmental document and clearance from the department, and that has made its way through central office, I understand, is on its way to federal highways. If that gets approved, that will allow us to move into final design, which will then, keep this project moving forward. And we had to do that in large part because of some of the concerns that both the school district and some adjacent property owners had about signing off on that. So the individual 4F means that requirement as a endorsement or whatever you can say from the school district is not required. It allows us to keep that project moving forward, and at some point there may have to be a taking as a result of the intersection improvements. So we'll keep you posted. I think it's still slated as probably sometime in 2020, I think, for that job, assuming nothing else happens. But it is moving forward, and we'll have some more updates for you next go around.
Okay, thank you.